Who's missing? Wait another minute.
Dwayne's not here.
All right, go ahead, Ian. Go ahead, you start.
Hi, I'm Mia DiPaolo. I'm back again. I'm the principal of Bedminster Elementary. When I first started a few months ago, or I guess back in July, one of the biggest concerns that the staff presented to me were the arrival and dismissal procedures, which prior to this year included all buses, 8 of our buses, and all of our parent drop-off and pick-up from the front of the building, which would be off Fretz Valley Road. I had one opportunity prior to starting with the district to see what this looked like, and it concerned me greatly, along with the staff and the parent concerns. So it was my mission to seek an alternative to having all drop-off in the front of the building. So to further ensure the safety of our students at drop-off and pick-up each day, I moved all parent drop-off and pick-up to the back of the building, which is off of Center School. So parents literally come down Center School, drop their children off, and there are 3 to 4 staff members greeting those children each day, getting them in and out of their cars. So parents do not have to get out of cars, they don't have to worry about siblings, they are not interacting with buses. So that has proven to be a very positive change. I know the bus drivers were very pleased to hear of the change. So after a few days of being out there, because I am out there car duty AM and PM, I, along with the staff and I, were very concerned with the cars and the speed at which they were traveling on Center School. It is a non-posted road, which I believe is 50 or 55 when it's non-posted. We have children that live directly across the street from the school, and our buses pick up and cars. It's scary to watch. We also sometimes at dismissal have a backlog of cars on Center School, and when you're coming up the hill, approaching our driveway, it's hard to see. So what I did was work with the Bedminster Township manager for Bedminster Township, the Bedminster Township Police Chief, and we have met numerous times. Rich Schilling from Bedminster Township went to his board and proposed an ordinance change to change that stretch on Center School from Fretz Valley to now I thought it was in my notes, but it escapes me right now, to 25. We do not qualify as a school zone because of the fact that there are no sidewalks, which means the Pennridge School District offers busing to all of our students. So for that reason, we do not qualify as a school zone, which would mean the flashing lights. So what we talked about was the next alternative, and that would be changing the speed limit to 25 miles an hour from that stretch of road on Fretz Valley. So his board approved unanimously to move forward. They had a public hearing. Tomorrow is their final vote, and he believes that there will be no problem having that ordinance passed. And pretty much immediately signs will be posted. They have paid for their engineer to come out and do the study, do the research to see if we actually qualified for a school zone, and the township will also fund the cost or have their employees put the signs, install the signs. What they're asking for from the support of the school district is to fund the cost of the signs. And Rich just let me know, as of last night, he had a window from 25 to about 500, and he said the definite is $400. And he's asking if the Pennridge School District would help with the cost of the signage. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, may I?
Joanne?
I think you said $500,
Four.
$400 to $500. I think we should also know that there's a change going through for the, getting permits for VOTEC. And that same board has essentially voted to not impose any of those costs on this school district for that, you know, on the VOTEC for the changes when they renovate that place. And I think you find, and I happen to be a Bedminster resident, and I think you will find that the Bedminster board will do a lot of good. And then you said that's tomorrow night?
Yes, that's their final approval.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, well, it sounds like a good thing, and it doesn't sound like a lot of money. Does anyone have any reservations or reasons not to pay for our sign? I'll pay for the sign. We're okay with that, so do we need to put that on, that has to be a motion? Not even a motion, right? Okay, so I guess we'll have to figure out where the papers
Yep,
flow.
as soon as Rich and I will be in contact on Thursday after it's definitely approved, and then I'll be in touch with Ms. Johnson.
Comment.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a quick one, doesn't that come out of building, your own building fund, or is that coming out of?
No, that'll come out of Mr. Loftus' facilities maintenance budget.
Hands up.
Thanks,
But I don't turn the lights on in my office, so that pays for it, Jeff.
We already discussed it, so I knew it was coming from there.
Okay.
I do sign it.
Okay,
Great.
thank you, Ian.
Thank you.
All right, the next item is, has to do with when we have our meetings in the LGI. And we had some trouble in there with the way the meetings come off and for the audience being able to hear us, as well as meeting the ADA requirements for our board members. So that being said, Mr. Lawford, do you want to tell us about this quote? You got a quote for a system that can move back and forth.
It's the same system that we rented for that night.
You're doing sound system.
That's right here.
It's 2 seconds.
Oh, it is. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead. I thought they were together.
Well, kind of the projector, they're somewhat together, however,
It
Mr.
says audio visual.
It does. Number one, the projector for the LGI, that's the only room. If you recall, when we had our meeting in the LGI, our meeting went for a long period of time, and all of a sudden, the projector was no longer working. We found out the projector was very old, and that it could not sustain itself for meetings that were lasting that long. So, Doug Ryan and I talked. We asked Mr. Toronto to check out, you know, what it would cost to put together a projector in that room, and he has done that. I'm sorry, I don't have it right in front of me. The cost.
I don't
I'm
have
sorry.
it.
The cost that I believe is.
$2,600.
I was going to say approximately $3,000. The projector itself, from a CoStar's cost, is about $2,800. We'll need to buy some ceiling mounts. So I think we're just, want to get the board's feel. Are you interested in putting in a working projector in the LGI room, so that when we have meetings there, that we actually have the technology will work and not shut down on us. And the other part of that, then, Mr. Loeffler talked to Philadelphia Sound, because not only do we have a problem in the LGI room with sound, we also have a problem in the high school auditorium with sound.
So they put together some equipment that would work in both. That way if you move back and forth, it's going to come with its own case. 12 microphones, so we're not sharing as much as we do in here. And it's all Shure equipment, it's voice activated, and I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's about $7,500 and change for that.
7146.
71, it goes a little high. Comes with a 2-year warranty on all parts, equipment.
And Jeff, you said this will be moved from that auditorium to the other auditorium in high school when needed.
It'll be really in my possession, we'll keep it in the case, and if there's a meeting in the auditorium, I'll set it up there. If it's in the LGI, I'll set it up there.
Now, I am concerned if you've got it.
Thank you.
Do we anticipate needing this immediately?
needed it already.
I know.
So,
My point, I guess, is our,
next time we go in there, whatever that topic,
will be here, located here.
well, what, the last, further discussions on the field, I think 14 of us were sharing 2 microphones. So, I mean, that really wasn't a lot of fun to watch, I'm sure. So, maybe it was a lot of fun to watch, but it wasn't fun to be part of it. So, I mean, it seems like a decent price. It's, I'm talking about the sound system now. And I don't think do we need an approval on that because of the price, or we just buy it, you're just looking, you're telling us about it? You don't have to
Yeah, it's
bid.
just information. We don't need approval because it's under the quoting.
Right, we
What does
don't,
everybody think about it? Let's just go around real quick. I know it was a bad,
I thought it was an embarrassment,
it was an embarrassment.
We'll be back there.
so I think yes.
Fast question, what, the school has a need in the auditorium that this would also serve, so it's not just for the board's purposes, it would,
If Mr. Creedon or anybody really needs it in there, certainly they can use it. If you remember the first meeting we had in there, they set us up with lapel mics, and I think that's what came with the auditorium.
But they didn't want
That
it.
failed too.
Yeah.
So really, he has, I think, 2 mics, handheld mics. that-
it's necessary.
Yeah, so, and it's just something to go back and forth, it'll plug into either one of them.
Just one question, Dick.
I can't believe this is a matter of discussion. Why don't we just get on with it, okay?
Well, I'm in favor of it myself.
I just have a question about the system, because that one we used that night was that voice activated, which, to be honest, was a bit annoying, that if you made any sound, the light popped on, and, is that the norm?
It's not the norm, but there were some buttons on the console that we can actually shut that off. I'm not sure we recommend it, because at these meetings, a lot of times, people start talking
Yeah.
about turning this on.
Yeah.
So maybe voice activate's better. If we learn how to use that, we can use it properly.
Okay, so you're in favor, not in favor?
I agree that, it was embarrassing trying to share 2 microphones and really counterproductive to the meeting. It's just, I don't think right now that the projector, I agree, is not absolutely necessary. But,
Anybody else?
Is there a projector permanently set up in the auditorium already, that we only need one in the LGI? And then, it would have other uses as well, the projector there, yeah.
right, because that room is used for instruction.
Large group instruction.
Large group instruction, so, right, that would not be just something that the board would be using.
We would probably recover the cost the very first time we rented it out to an outside group. Right?
I'm fine.
At least with the projector.
All right, well, it seems like we're all okay with both the projector and the sound system.
Yes.
Okay, so that's out of your budget too, right?
Yes,
love spending your money.
I know.
All right, so we don't need a motion for that, we're just gonna do it? Okay, all right. Okay, good. The next thing is a deed of easement from North Penn Water Authority. I'm not exact, I know that's $1, we're doing it for $1, and what does that have to do with? Do we need to know what that is? I forget what this is.
Okay, last summer, we passed the cost sharing agreement to have the water line corrected at Sellersville Elementary School. There were 2 parts to that cost sharing agreement. One was the cost sharing agreement that we agreed to share the cost of replacing the line. The other was a deed of easement that was to be included there. The deed of easement was not included in the original package that we received, and North Penn has brought that to our attention, so they now are asking us to formally sign the deed of easement, and they will pay us $1 for that. So this is housekeeping sure that, again, they did not provide the deed when we passed the cost sharing agreement.
Anybody have any trouble with that? Anybody have any trouble with that? You gotta do it. Okay, so that will be on the agenda. I guess we'd have to do that. Okay. So that'll be an agenda item. And then we had an addition here that I don't know if it's on everybody's agenda. This has to do with the maintenance truck substitute. And And the 24th, February 24th, the board agreed to purchase, or voted to purchase a truck because we had one of our vehicles go out of service. It was just beaten up. So Jeff's been having trouble getting the truck in a timely fashion. So since we needed one, the dealership loaned us the truck. And since that time, our truck came in, but when they were painting it, they had trouble with their paint booth. So it came out to be a mess, the truck that we were supposed to get. So and now we don't really want that truck anymore because they have to sand and paint off it and repaint it. So anyway, the truck that they gave us as a loaner was a demo from 2013. It's a bigger truck. It's a heavier duty truck. It's going to get decked out pretty much with the same equipment as the one we did approve, which was a 2014. All that being said, this replacement vehicle comes in about $77 less than what we had approved. So this having been reviewed with our attorney, he doesn't see a violation of the bidding laws in any way, but he does think that we should put a motion on the agenda to accept the replacement truck as a substitute. So Jeff, do you want to add anything to that? I think that's what no, it's a different year.
It is a 2013 versus a 2014, but the 2013 demo only had 1,000 miles on it. It's a 3,500, which gives it a 1 ton versus the 2,500 of what we purchased originally, 3/4 ton. So it's a better truck, it's a bigger truck, it's more heavy duty, has a few more bells and whistles. It's actually, say Kelly Blue Book, would be listed more than the truck we purchased. And again, they kind of felt bad here, take this demo, and then when the paint went dry, they sanded it down, they said, we'll make a deal. CoStar's price, they're both CoStar prices, and so they had this, so. Seems like a no-brainer, really.
Do we need the bigger truck?
Oh, it will certainly help with plowing,
So
sure.
it's used for plowing?
Sure, it'll help with carrying his tools all the way to the tools too. So,
Plumber's truck.
the plumber's truck, yes.
And is there a difference in the gas mileage since it's a bigger truck?
Possibly a little bit, but you know, they travel 5,000 to 6,000 miles a year
Or not?
from school to school, so it's not worth looking at.
Obviously, you haven't bought many trucks. Bigger is always better.
Size matters.
Regardless of cost.
Okay, so just we're all clear, that'll be on the agenda. It's a 2013 basic versus a 2014. And it looks like we're all okay with that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next item might be the last item, 13. Jeff, you might have to, I don't know, Kathy, are you going to go through these, or do you need to go through each of these? These are the obsolete item reviews from, looks like all the elementary schools and the tech department and nutritional services and maintenance and the library reading logs. So I don't know if the board members have all looked at this. I've gone through them like I always do. I rely on Kathy to make sure that these things are going out of service for a reason.
I didn't find anything wrong with them, I read them all.
Everybody's good, so then this will be on every book.
I did not read every book. I read every page.
Okay, so this will also appear on our agenda for the vote at our next board meeting. Any other comments from board members about anything so far? Mrs. Miller?
I actually have 2 questions. So, first I wanted to ask about the trailer. Do we have any news on if we were going to put that out to bid or not put it out to bid for the band? There was a liability issue from Mr. Freund, as I recall, with the operation of the trailer, the lift.
I believe every item on that list, you said, Mr. Lawful.
Every item on the list is going out to bid, and I have actually met with Mr. Loeffler, Mrs. Johnson was there, Dr. Creedon, we're meeting with Mr. Benson and Libby, I'm sorry, I don't know her last name, Williams, to talk about solutions and safety. So we're doing that, I think, this week. I think we have a meeting set up Thursday. So So we're looking at, Mr. Loeffler's been working with his staff, looking at what are the needs of both departments, the music department and the indoor guard, and how we can help them and keep it safe for everyone. Obviously, no student should be operating the lift, and nobody should be driving the truck other than anybody authorized to drive it.
So what I'm hearing you say is that we're going to be keeping what we have and just modifying its use? Did I hear that correctly?
Well, we have to make sure we do it for now because it's in use, and we have to be sure it's safe, so that we're starting there right now.
We are going out to bid for the trailer and truck right now. So it's up to the board to accept those bids when they come in.
So they're out now, they're advertised now?
They'll be out within whenever we advertise next, in a few weeks.
Didn't I hear an email, or didn't I see an email come through from Bob Palmer that he was on the scene at one point, and that he apparently has helped with the band, and he thought that really this was much ado about nothing, and he really thought.
Dave, I think Mr. Freud countered
Please let him
that.
finish.
Mr. Freud countered that. And Mr. Palmer's not an employee of the district. He's a volunteer. Okay, so it's going to go out to...
Can I add something? I know I'm
Excuse
speaking
me,
out of
can you
turn.
wait till we get the public comment, please? Okay.
Well,
Okay.
this is about this issue.
Well, you can talk about it then.
Just give me one more minute. My second question was, so far we've had transportation audited, we've had technology audited. Mrs. Johnson, I thought at one point, or Mr. Casper, I thought at one point, 2 years ago, we talked about auditing facilities. Did that go by the wayside? Were we going to audit each department as we, no, that's not.
Who's going to audit?
I thought we were going to put it out and have it audited, just to, make sure everything was in. Just as we did transportation and we did technology.
Well,
I was just wondering what the status was.
I think we could have, that's not on our agenda tonight.
Well,
So, but
I
I've
know
got,
that's
okay,
why I
okay,
wanted
okay.
to
So I
ask.
don't know how to talk about it, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I'm not prepared to talk about it.
Okay.
But I would like to, if there's 5 of us or a majority that wants to audit departments, then we can do it. That's how I look at it. I don't know, but I think this is the wrong time to bring up new business at this committee meeting to do that. I mean, we want to audit personnel, we want to audit, I can't remember specifically auditing maintenance or facilities, but,
I
if
think it was
there's
about a year ago, 2 years
It
ago.
was discussed, and
so let's get that on our agenda, and we'll see where we go.
Yeah, and I brought it up as new business. I didn't expect to really discuss it. New old business. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Okay, now it's time for comments from the public.
My name's Brad Snyder. My son is a sophomore. He's
Push the button.
There's a button.
There you go.
My name's Brad Snyder. My son is a sophomore. He's on the drum line. I just want to tell you what happened on Saturday when I was at the championships over in Pottsgrove. As far as the liftgate is concerned, we had, first of all, I hope you realize when they're loading some of these instruments that the liftgate is not long enough. So the kids stand there and they hold them and then they military press them above their head and try to slide them onto the truck. Well, one of the boys' jeans got caught on the liftgate and he did not get hurt, but his jeans were ripped. And I will tell you something, it is only a matter of time before you're standing here and there's a lawyer for a parent standing here saying, what are you trying to do? He's very lucky. He could have ripped, if that liftgate would have caught him right, it would have ripped his leg wide open. And you would have had a nice bill to pay from the hospital, and probably the parents would have sued you as well. So I think, Dr. Radigan, I applaud you for addressing the issue, but I just want you to know that it is probably a matter of time before something happens. Because I was appalled as a parent when I saw what those kids were doing, lifting it above their heads. 2 wheels are on the liftgate, 2 wheels are hanging off the back, the kids are hanging on to the back of the instruments, pushing them up over their head and trying to slide them onto the truck.
Those are big carts.
I mean, all it takes is one kid to step on another kid's foot or lose his balance, and that thing's coming down on top of 3 or 4 kids. And I think it's something that needs to be addressed. I mean, I had never seen them load a truck before, but I was in disbelief at what was going on. Because I said to my wife, I said, "You've got to be kidding me." I said, the only school district employee that was there was running the lift gate. He was with the truck driver, which is what he was supposed to be doing. But, I mean, these kids, you know, kids are kids, and I was very surprised at what those kids were going through to load that truck. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Radigan kind of addressed that, so they're working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Karen Wilmore, Hilltown. On the same issue, I've been traveling with the marching band, the drumline, the color guard for 4 years now. It's a situation that is only getting worse. And I think one of the things that we're forgetting to point out to you is the size of the groups. We have a wonderful problem that the sizes keep increasing. When my one son joined the band 4 years ago, there were maybe 60, 65 kids in the band. Today, we have 140, and it's still growing. We had one small indoor color guard. The color guard group has grown in size for the high school, but we've also added a middle school color guard. So we now have 2 color guard groups. 4 years ago, they started the drum lineup. There were 9 kids in the drum line 4 years ago. We're up to 22 now, and with many more kids interested. As these programs keep growing, the needs keep growing. We take more instruments with us than we did 4 years ago. I don't see that changing. I'm sure Mr. Benson could address that better. The drum line. I was not aware of what drum lines did until my son joined one, and I see the amount of stuff and where it's going. They take a tremendous amount of instruments. If the district had more instruments, we would be taking more instruments to these things. Mr. Palmer, I know you spoke with him and he spoke with you regarding the safety of stuff coming on and off, and it wasn't a problem. He only travels when the color guard goes, not when the drum line goes without the color guard, nor when the band goes. A lot of times when the color guard and the drum line are traveling together, the drum line leaves first. We load the truck at the school. When we get to the venue, the color guard and the color guard parents are not there. It is the drum line. And it's usually myself and Mrs. Snyder are the 2 adults that are there, and Gary Williams. And when we unload, we have to unload the color guard boxes in order to unload the drumline stuff. When we leave, we stay at the performance until the color guard's done, so the drumline students can assist the color guard parents to load the truck. When we get back to Pennridge, it's not a problem with the truck because we have a wonderful loading dock that we just roll stuff in and out. But that's not the case when we go to these other schools. When we go on marching band competitions, it's not the case. We're unloading in parking lots. And over the course of the 4 years, I've noticed most school districts are going to the trailer system and getting rid of the big trucks, probably for safety issues. It's an accident waiting to happen. This past Saturday, I was upset about the pants. The kid lost a good pair of pants, but at least he didn't cut his leg open, because I would have passed out. So, that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, Claire Steinberg, East Rock Hill Township. I have a question. Is it legal in Pennsylvania to mandate attendance at a meeting to bid on a project in the public school system?
Well, we're not, we'll get back to you with that answer. I'm not our solicitor's not here, and typically, we're trying to get away from answering questions we don't have in advance. Because we might not give the right answer, we might not have the right facts, we don't have time to research what we should. So, did somebody, the question is, again, if you could submit that in writing, that'd be great. Okay. Well, not right, all right.
Who do I
Right
give it
now,
to?
okay.
Who do I give it to?
Give it to me.
Thanks. Thank you. I'll give it to you.
And the buck stops here.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Questions from the press? Do we have our next meeting scheduled? They seem to be moving around a little bit, so I guess take a week.
Question, are we doing questions for both meetings together?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I had a statement. I just am looking for a clarification regarding a statement earlier on our rate of success with tax collection in the district. Because according to files and records published by our bond agent, our actual collections percentage is over 100% every year for the last 4 years running, because we have been collecting on our delinquent, and we are averaging anywhere between 102 and 108%. So did I hear correctly before that we said we're only running 96% on our tax collection?
That is correct on current tax collection, so I will clarify that statement.
Okay, but we're actually taking more in money every year than that 96% then?
Right, the
Okay.
96% only referred to the current, the tax bills that go out on July 1st.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
With regards to the meeting, we did just schedule a meeting April 30th, but that will only be a finance meeting. It will not be, I believe the facilities part would be at the normal May, what meeting is that date?
May 7th.
May 7th.
Is that April 23rd?
That's on our thing.
Okay, we're going to adjourn, and we'll work out our meeting dates amongst ourselves later. Okay, meeting adjourned.